Welcome to a cool new tutorial. Literally.
Tonight's forecast. A freeze is coming.
This one's going to be a bit different from my usual VFX content because today we're diving into the icy world of motion graphics. And we're going to create a frost effect that's so cold, even your GPU might need a scarf. Now, I first saw this technique over on the YouTube channel Motion Nation, where they did a frosty breakdown of this effect in After Effects. But here's the cool part. You don't need an expensive Adobe subscription to do this. I'll show you how to pull this off inside DaVinci Resolve Fusion. No heat required. Make sure to give those folks over at Motion Nation a warm thank you, and check out their original video. Let's jump back into DaVinci. First things first, right-click in your media pool and choose New Fusion Composition. Let's call this, I don't know, Frost Fusion? Chili Text 3000? Go wild. Then drop it into your timeline, and feel free to adjust the duration if you're feeling extra icy. Now we're on the Fusion page, where we're greeted by everyone's favorite lonely node, Media Out. Let's bring in some footage before it gets too cold and starts talking to itself. Right-click and select Show Title Picture to display the thumbnail. Now we need either a text or a logo, but for now, I'll go with Text Plus and type in something like Frost. Pick a font that's as sharp as an icicle. Now let's take our Frost text and merge it with the icy background. You'll notice it adopts the background resolution, which is very large due to the ice texture. A simple way to fix this is by using a letterbox node. Change the text color to something Arctic. Dark blue should do. Now let's bring in another texture. This one goes below the text. Merge it using a merge node, scale it down with another letterbox, and set the apply mode to overlay. Boost the text brightness a bit so it doesn't get lost in the blizzard. Now we can take the final texture, place it at the bottom of our composition, and merge it into the node tree. Just like with the previous textures, we'll add a letterbox node to match the composition size. I'll also add a transform node and rotate the texture 90 degrees so it sits horizontally. Then, change the merge blending mode to soft light. In Fusion, this is referred to as the apply mode. All right, now let's blur the line between warm and frozen. We're going to use a Vari Blur node. This blur changes based on a channel. By default, it's the red channel, but we're going to switch it to alpha. Add a fast noise node and hook it up to the blur image input of the Vari Blur. Crank the contrast, tweak the scale, and boom. You've got a blur that looks like Jack Frost breathed on your text. Notice how the blur is a little broken? That's because the blur is only happening inside the domain of definition. Fix it with a set domain node. Set the mode to set, and now our blur behaves like a proper winter storm. If the edges still feel too crisp, throw in a defocus node to give it that frosty softness. Now it's time to make things look really cool. Add a displace node below your text. Then connect your ice texture to it through a dot node. This tells Fusion, distort this text using that frosty goodness. Tweak the refraction strength until it looks just right. My text looks a bit too saturated, so I'm going to tweak the color to help it blend in better with the ice. If you want to soften the effect, you can add a blur node after the displace node to reduce the sharpness a bit. Before we go full 3D, it's a good time to organize. Use an underlay node to label sections of your comp. Hold Option or Alt and click Underlay, then press F2 to rename. You can also group your nodes by selecting them and pressing Ctrl-G on Windows or Command-G on Mac. But be warned, it can turn into a snowstorm of confusion. I prefer the underlay method. It's cleaner. And if you're coming from Nuke, underlays are the Fusion version of backdrops. We'll need a camera, an image plane, a Merge 3D node, and a Renderer 3D. Start by adding an image plane and connect its material input to our Frost setup. Next, add a Merge 3D node and connect both the image plane and the camera to it. Finally, place a Renderer 3D node below the Merge 3D to complete the setup. When you preview through the Merge 3D, the camera will probably be way too close, like it's trying to take a selfie, so scoot it back. turn on Use Target in the camera settings so it always points at your focal point. Super handy. Now animate the camera however you like. Smooth, cinematic, frosty goodness. Now let's talk particles. You can build these from scratch in Fusion using the particle system, but this ain't a particle tutorial. I'll use the particle footage that the guys at Motion Nation provided in the original YouTube tutorial. Import your particle clip, enable thumbnail view, and rename it so things stay tidy. Copy your previous 3D setup, paste it, and hook your particle overlay to a new image plane. We also need a Render 3D node, and once that's added, we can merge this setup into our main node tree. Let's change the Apply mode to Screen. We can also move the image plane a bit closer to the camera so it doesn't overlap with our frost setup. If you prefer to use a different operation, such as Add, you'll need to use the Channel Boolean nodes and replace the Merge node. This will give your particles a slightly different look. At this point, our frozen masterpiece is nearly complete. You can add a vignette using an ellipse and a color corrector node. Just connect the ellipse to the mask input and lower the gain to darken the edges. But hey, since this is DaVinci Resolve, you've got the ultra-powerful color page at your disposal. So I recommend removing any final color correction and vignette from Fusion and doing that magic in the Color tab. And that's a wrap. Ice cold and crispy clean. I hope this tutorial showed you that Fusion isn't just for visual effects. It's also an absolute powerhouse for motion graphics. So go ahead and frost your logos, chill your titles, and snowball your creativity. Be sure to check out the guys at Motion Nation on YouTube and give their After Effects tutorial a like to show your support. And if you found this helpful, consider subscribing for more tips, tricks, and ice-cold puns. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay frosty.